welcome in to another episode of Morning Edition. This morning we're talking the NBA playoffs. The Knicks back in the finals for the first time since '99. We're also talking about data center water. There's a lot of controversy going on down in Georgia about the color of the water, the lack of water. We're talking about that. We're also talking about little treat economy. What the heck is that? We're going to explain this morning on a Morning Edition. But welcome in Julian Sador, Andy Satowski, Jason Harper, and a guest appearance from a super Knicks fan, our producer, Robert Romero. And that's where we're going to start. Robert has his broom with him.
Oh, boy.
We've been told by his girlfriend this is the only time that he has found the broom.
He had no idea where it was prior to this series.
Had to ask.
She thought you were going to sweep her off her feet.
But Robert, you've now had the broom for the second time because the Knicks again have swept a playoff series. They are on the way to the finals for the first. Were you even born in '99?
I was 2 years old.
2 years old.
Wow.
Much memory of that series, but it's nice that I can have more of a full understanding of what's happening.
How's it feel, brother? How's it feel that we're talking about the Knicks in the finals?
All right.
Wow.
I want to put things in
Oh, boy.
perspective for you
Okay.
guys real
Okay.
quick here. I want to list off some player names real quick.
Okay, go for it.
Lou Elmanson,
Okay.
Alexis Fed,
Mm-hmm.
Andrea Bargnani,
Love them.
Langston Galloway.
Okay.
Do you guys know who those are?
Yes.
Nope.
Do you, as an NBA fan, I'm sure you do. Do you guys know who those players are?
I do not.
Exactly. Those are players that were in the starting
hockey players.
Those were players in the starting lineup for New York Knicks teams that I grew up watching.
Okay.
Bob Libero always fighting for a lottery spot, striking out on lottery picks. I'm sure Charlotte fans know Frank Ntilikina. He was a number 8 pick that we took that you saw firsthand.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's not the guy that we had too many a fan base that thought he was the second coming.
What about
So that is where-
Linsanity
Listen,
and Nate
listen,
Robinson?
Insanity was
I like that.
That's a good one.
Let's say it's a good one because back up.
Okay.
That was my real
Okay.
first moment as a Knicks fan where I felt joy for a good 21 game day stretch with
Yeah.
Linsanity taking over the league.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Then Carmelo Anthony had a great year. Love him to death. And then things kind of fell apart after that after one great year.
I'm going to pause you real fast because I feel like I need to set the stage for you guys watching. And I want your blood pressure to come down just a little bit. So
not going to.
every morning, listen, every morning when we come in, Robert's already been here a good hour or two, all right, as most of our producers are. And we have a section on our dry erase whiteboard wall that says Robert's Rants. Every day, there's something that Robert is wound up about. We call him Roberto. So he's all wound up, and it doesn't take a lot for him to just start spewing off. Something's driving him crazy. But I'm glad, for your sake and our sake, that the Knicks are doing well. Because we hear about the struggles with the Mets and the Jets, right?
Those are
You're fans.
Those are three,
You're
yes.
fans of those other sports teams. So I'm glad for your sake that the Knicks are doing well. Now proceed. What is it? What's the best thing about being a Knicks fan?
So is this run because what I know seriously. So here's the thing. It's through all of the pain and misery as a Knicks fan, at least people who are my age, because other people are older, like my dad, at least saw the 90s Knicks be really good, make some finals appearances with Patrick Ewing, John Starks.
Oh, yeah.
all those
I grew
guys.
up with Ewing. Yeah.
Well, they just couldn't get over Jordan and Hakeem Olajuwon. That was the thing. But Knicks have been a laughing stock for this entire millennium.
life.
Since
Yeah.
of my life. So it's
Sure.
all I grew up knowing. It's just bad New York teams with a couple of good years that weren't really contending, but that's just about it. But now, because of Jalen Brunson, who's came to this team that we stole away from the Dallas Mavericks in 2022, changed the course of this franchise forever. For Chris
Wow.
we got him. That was the start of it. We can go a whole long history. I can go all day about that. But into this moment, when we got into the Knicks since 2022, the Knicks have not lost a first-round playoff series in 4 years. And we've just gotten better every year. Made the conference finals last year. It was a bad ending. But this year, they have looked like, not even just looks like, statistically, they have been the best team out of an 11-game stretch in NBA history.
Wow.
And the numbers,
that's
like better
huge.
than any of the Steph Curry Warriors, Jordan Bulls, LeBron Heat teams.
Wow.
Like from a analytics standpoint, if you're gonna be a fan, you're gonna hear analytics a lot.
Yeah. You're right.
I have never seen anything like this. Like, I'm more nervous on this podcast than I was yesterday when they clinched to go in the finals, because in the second quarter, I'm like, they got this.
Yeah.
It's over. Like, I'm always used to just heart pumping, just blood rushing, like games where they always end in the final minute. It comes down to the wire.
Right.
Right.
But now, like, I'm like expect
You
them
got
to
some
win.
confidence. Yeah.
This is
you're
like
fit-
I'm like
yeah.
watching the best team I've ever watched on the court at the time.
Got that
Now the
confidence.
question now,
That's awesome.
I understand that right as people who follow the NBA, the Western Conference is a much better conference, and we're seeing the Thunder and Spurs go at it. Those are going to be when the teams are going to face the Knicks, and Knicks are likely to be still underdogs because they have not proven to play that well against a good team. However, I still have never seen any of those any of those great teams never did what the Knicks are doing.
Okay.
So it's like
So you're saying
I
they
don't
have a
know.
chance? You
They
believe they have a
absolutely
chance
Yeah.
They absolutely have a
against
chance.
Oklahoma City
So,
or San Antonio?
absolutely.
Who do you want? What would be your ideal matchup?
Yeah, matchup.
I would say the Spurs because I think not because now Victor Wembanyama, the 7'5" phenom, who's
Yeah.
going to
The
be
alien.
who's going to
Massive
be
arm
probably
span.
Wingspan,
Wingspan.
Wingspan.
arm
You had it
span,
right.
sure,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's good enough.
It's like a condor.
We're getting off track.
So,
That's what we do here.
so I was saying because the Knicks played the Spurs in the NBA Cup, which is a new tournament they started in the last 5 years.
The in-season
And that's-
tournament,
It's
yep.
in-season tournament where at least something's at stake.
Right.
Something where you're
Right.
playing for, whether it's just like a medal or a trophy. It's not the NBA championship by any means, but you're playing against each other for something that's provable.
Something on the line.
Something
Did
on the
Charlotte
line.
win that?
Yeah, right.
No, Charlotte won
what
the
is
summer.
it?
Summer League.
Okay, cool.
So it wasn't
Yeah.
any of the players that played. It was just,
Nothing
the
important.
rookie.
Got it.
Exactly.
It's like summer camp. They won the summer
They
cannon
won the
tournament.
summer camp.
So,
Right.
but they have played well against the Spurs because they can match up well. Victor's obviously a problem to handle, who's gotten better since then in the last
Right.
couple of years. But I think the Knicks have played them enough and have beaten them the last couple of years to where they're familiar enough to know how they play.
Okay.
The Thunder are extremely deep. They haven't beaten the Thunder in the last 2 years. Like they're 0-4. They kept it close, but they haven't won. But the Thunder are just a very deep team. Now both teams are pretty banged up. Like the Thunder are out their second best player. The Spurs have a couple injuries. They're playing through it. But the Knicks right now the Knicks swept. They have a lot of rest. They swept the last year against Philly, which is when I brought up the brooms.
Yeah.
And then they swept, the Cavs right now. Not to a point where they swept them like just a close sweep. They destroyed them.
Yeah.
Like not even close to like to
Wow.
where the series was like we're saying was over after the first two games
Yeah.
because they just looked like by far the best team in the series.
After that first game when they choked away a 20-point lead, Kenny Atkinson didn't call a timeout when he should have. That they were saying could have been the pivotal game where Cleveland lost it, and it turned out to be true. Robert, let me ask you, if they obviously they're going to get to the finals. If they get swept, it's not close, but you guys made it to the NBA Finals. Is that still a win for you? How are you going to feel? Or are you so jazzed
No.
up now?
No, listen, I even like this is tame for me. I have the broom out.
No, but I'm saying
Listen,
because they made it to the finals, like
If
how-
they don't win,
if they don't win a game,
Yeah.
they don't win the finals, right? And are you still saying great year? I'm okay with it, or do you go back to what we saw after
No.
Tyrese Halliburton put you guys in a
That-
spin
well,
cycle for?
Oh, man.
I understand. Okay, listen. First
Oh,
off,
I gotta ask.
listen. The
Oh, boy.
22-point thing in this game one made up for it. It
Okay.
kind of like
Exercise the demons.
exercise demon. That literally what game one was.
Mhm.
I was actually nervous. I already immediately said, "Oh, this game's over. They didn't have it tonight. They had 9 games off. It was
Okay.
rusty, whatever." And then they kept making shot after shot. Jalen Brunson kept going off. They
Uh-huh.
kept pinning shots, and I'm like, "Oh my god, they keep switching on Harden. I
Okay.
can't believe they're letting this
Okay.
happen." And then I'm like, they did it, and it wasn't even close toward the end. And then
Right.
they did it, and then they just walked off like nothing just happened. And I understand what you're saying. If they do it, I will be very upset if they get swept because
Okay.
they shouldn't get swept at all. They should be
Okay.
kept. They should be keep. They
What
keep
do you
it
think
close.
is
What if
realistic?
they lose,
Yeah.
but they don't get swept?
Well,
What
if
if they
they-
like lose overall, but they win a couple games here and there?
well,
We,
Here's the thing: if the Knicks lose this, I'm expecting it to be like a 6-7 game series, whether it's down to the
Yeah.
wire like last year.
I think
against
it'll go all the
Indiana.
way.
Because
Yeah.
nobody really expected Indiana to push Oklahoma State to the limit, and people
did.
could have, and people honestly are saying the Pacers would have won Game 7 if Halliburton didn't get hurt because he had 3 threes in the first few minutes.
That is true.
Tore his Achilles, and then they lost all their chances there. Now the Knicks are healthy, but still healthy going in, have an extra 9 days off until the final start next week. These two teams have to play at least 2 more games to battle out. Who knows if they get more injuries?
In a grueling series.
Yes. So things right now are lining up in the Knicks' favor to where I will be shocked. At this point, I will be shocked if they get swept. This is the point where I'm saying I understand if you want to say they're still the underdog, fine. I don't know
So
how
you
you,
have
I
them-
don't know
yeah.
how you
You
can
heard
say
it
this
here.
is going to be anything less than
So
a
what do you
6 or
have?
7 game series.
What do you have? 4-3? 4-3 Knicks? Come on.
Come on, Roberto.
4-3 Knicks?
What you got?
4-2 Knicks?
Put it on the table.
I'm gonna go Knicks in 7.
Knicks and
I'm
7.
going
Knicks
Knicks
and
seven.
7. Listen,
Because
before we let you go and wrap this up, slip off one of your shoes. I just
one of
want
your
I
shoes.
want the people at home to see
the full screen
the
here.
spirit that we see in the newsroom
Yeah.
Oh,
during
wow.
postseason.
Look at that.
Look at those. There we go.
Nice shot
There
on
we
that.
go.
Uh-huh.
Look at those slip
Go
ons.
with the house smell-o-vision.
Wow. Oh yeah, hurry, put them back
Put
on.
it back on. Put it back on.
Hurry.
There-
Real quick before I sign up,
Yeah.
this is just for now.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm under the Kobe mindset.
Okay.
Job is not done.
Job's not done.
Because I was happy about it, and I'm like, I want the whole thing.
Now you're focused.
I'm focused because 11 years ago, the Mets swept the Cubs and won the World Series, and I was I was extremely happy about it. It was the first time I seen my team in a championship round ever. But then I was heartbroken to how they lost every close game overall as a year. This year, I'm like, no, job is not finished.
This is
And
the
if
year.
the Knicks do
Uh-huh.
win the championship, put me back on here, and you haven't
That's
seen
it.
nothing yet.
There it
That's
is.
That's
All
all
I have to say is my Apple Watch is telling me your blood pressure's going up. So it's not even your watch, it's mine. So, hey, Berto, a pleasure.
Yes.
Thanks for
Yes.
joining us, brother.
Stay
And for
around
your
me on.
sake and all the Knicks fans, I hope they take it all the way.
Thank you. We all do.
All right. We still got more coming up. Robert, go ahead, sleep your way out of
Sweep
the
it
studio.
all
on.
Give everybody a nice little
Go
sleep
get.
Look at
as
that.
he sleeps.
Look at that.
Go
You're
and
just
get
keep
it.
going. Look out, Julian. Get out of the way.
Look at that, sleeping his way
Keep going
out
out
of
the door,
studio.
Robert.
Robert Romero.
How do you do a broom?
You do a brew.
Oh,
All right,
man.
stick around. We got more Morning Edition on the other side of
Dear
this.
Lord.
Welcome back into Morning Edition. Have you heard of a little treat economy? We hadn't either until this morning. Chief
Little
Business
treat.
Little treat. Chief Business Correspondent Taylor Young brought this to our attention, and the gist of it is that there is data backing up that everything is expensive, right? So more Americans are putting those bigger purchases like a home or a car or maybe taking a really nice vacation. They're kind of putting that on the back burner because that's obviously very expensive, a big commitment. And instead, they're indulging in these little treats every
Little treat.
week. And that
Little
can be
treats.
pretty much whatever you want it to be. It can be the expensive latte. It can be getting DoorDash instead of cooking for yourself. She even mentioned, which I don't know if I would call this a treat, of like the vintage watch market or like jewelry. That doesn't seem like a
Oh,
little
yeah.
treat to me.
No,
That's just more of like, I want this and I'm going to buy it.
my wife does the vintage handbag thing.
Oh,
See? Yeah, and they're not near as expensive as like a full-on Louis.
Right.
You get, some gently used. I got lights that are falling down behind me. Wow, what was that? Oh, no,
light
nothing
panel.
to see.
I
Nothing to see here. What did you do, Annie?
I didn't do it.
you see,
Listen,
that's not a little treat. That's a.
this is a professional Hollywood studio.
There we go.
The show must go on.
Okay, you just tape it. Look at that. That's
Look at that.
That's secure.
That is some high quality polyurethane.
Polyurethane.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Small, tiny treats. Is that
Little
what?
tiny treats.
That's what
the
we were
little
saying.
treat
Treats.
economy.
The
Oh, what
so
it,
what,
where,
are your treats? Do you guys do this? Just can't get over. My little treat is not getting decapitated by a
Yeah.
falling light.
oh, man.
I would say I said on the show today. My little treat, I guess, is ordering DoorDash when I know there's food at home. I don't want to feel like cooking, so it's like, okay, I'll
Yeah.
treat myself and we'll get sushi or something like that.
Mhm.
I say that might be my little treat. I don't know if golf counts as a little treat, but
It can be whatever you want.
It could be.
maybe you
I
could.
mean, who's to say what the threshold is?
Right.
Once you go over 1,000, now that may be a little.
That's kind of
little
like
indulgent.
It's like, okay, a tea time here. It's like, okay, could we be saving for something else? But I like to golf. Golf makes me happy. So little treat.
And it's good for your mental health. Like that's a hobby. I wouldn't call that
Yeah.
a treat. Like that's a hobby.
So DoorDash. Harp, you said yours is ice cream?
Yeah, my wife and I lately have been really enjoying these little treats.
Yeah.
And almost to the where. So we go to this Waxhaw Creamery, right, in downtown Waxhaw where we live, and I have now asked the owner to just not look at us when we walk in. Because on multiple occasions, it's like, oh, hey, Jason and Angie again. You guys are here again. And then a stranger the other day goes, oh, you guys come here a lot? And the lady goes, yeah, yesterday. They were here yesterday. And I'm like,
Hey,
so now
mind
I'm
your
just,
business.
I'm like,
everyone.
just don't look at us when we come in. But yeah, and so we probably could have gone, maybe to an island in the Caribbean by now had we not had as many trips.
That little treat budget.
But no, those are little indulgences. And my thing is, obviously maybe $1,000 for someone that is doing very, very well, maybe that is a small little splurge to them. It just
Yeah.
depends, right, on all of us. I think whatever your goal is, if it's to save for a house, a car, your child's college education, whatever the goal thing is, as long as these little steps along the way don't deter you or put you further in debt or something like that, then I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Here's the part that I caution people is when we have generations say, "I deserve." I think that word, I think you got to be careful because I don't think you start crossing the line into entitlement. If we all got what we deserve, I don't know that we'd really want that, right? So, I mean, we all work hard, okay? And so if you want to take something, then say, listen, I worked hard. Maybe I earned it. I like earning. I've earned it more than I deserve. I don't know that everyone deserves it.
And like I would add on to the be careful with I deserve it. I need this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
You need water.
Yeah.
That's
you need
true.
air. You need some
food.
sustenance.
Stuff
Yeah.
shouldn't be in the need category.
Yeah, for sure.
My parents used to get
Do
on
you
me
want
when
it
I
or
said,
need it?
I need this. You don't need a toy. You want the toy.
Yeah.
You don't- but everybody else has. You don't need it.
It's
You want
basic.
it.
It's basic budgeting, right?
Right.
And kind of managing your money. My little treat is that sometimes, okay, and I have this debate with myself in the car because there are 2 Starbucks on my way home.
2 of them.
2 of them.
Oh, I
And
know what the
one is a
drink
little bit
is.
more- is a vanilla sweet cream nitro boost.
Oh, girl, I love that.
They're
I love that drink.
so
Low
good,
calorie too.
right?
Yeah.
It's
Come on.
it's lower calorie. I didn't even like check the sugar part on it, but I've never taken Adderall before. But for me, sometimes when
Oh.
I like get home
Oh,
and
no.
instead of like taking a nap, like I'll finish my work and I see all these different things
So
and
it makes you more
possibilities.
productive.
You
It
get
does
zippy.
make me
makes
more
you a better
productive.
mother.
It does make me a better
That's
mother.
what you're saying. Okay.
That's
I would
what-
say you
so
need
that's
this.
my excuse.
It
but
sounds like a
but
tool for
I
motherhood.
do need it, but I do. The debate with myself is you've got K cups at home.
Oh yeah. But do they hit the same way?
It's not the
No,
same.
Absolutely
It's not the same.
So I have little treats more often. That one's in a separate bank account. The
Oh,
card that's on my phone.
nice. A
So-
separate bank
the hubby
account
can't
for
see it?
nitros.
He's as bad of a Starbucks consumer as I am, so we can't
Whoa.
even.
Listen,
That's also on the work card when he goes, so I don't know.
if I was building a home or if I was going to do an add-on splurge to my home right now, it would be a tap handle,
Oh yeah.
just like going to a bar or something like that.
for the nitro.
And it would be with that nitro stuff, Amy.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
am with you.
I know that y'all are Team Nitro, so
Oh man, I
100%.
am Team Nitro.
I
all
support
the way.
little treat economy. But yeah, if your little treat is like every day, then it does add up.
Annie, do you want to know how I know that Angie and Jason are good people?
How?
Uh-oh.
Because they go to a creamery.
Yeah.
Not just an ice cream
Now,
shop.
every now and then we'll go into the old Baskin Robbins.
Okay,
I'll
okay.
count to make sure there's still 31 flavors. But I do prefer the local small
I
business
like that.
busting their
It's so
tails.
about a
much better.
creamery ice cream.
It's unmatched.
Come on. Come
on.
All right. Well,
Now I
you know
want
what
a little
else is
treat.
unmatched and not in a good way?
Oh,
What's
no.
going on in Georgia with the data centers? We're talking about that
Oh,
on the
yeah.
other side of this. You're watching Morning Edition. We'll be right back.
Welcome back into Morning Edition. All right, our final topic of the day. Data centers is becoming the topic of a lot of city and county councils all across the country. We know with AI, more data processing is needed, and these huge tens of thousands of square foot data centers are already popping up all around the country. No one seems to want them near them. Like it's this whole battle of we think they're necessary, we don't know enough yet, but no one wants it near a farm, no one wants it near a school. And so you're having objections pop up all over town. Matter of fact, recently in Charlotte, they said, hey, we're going to table this
Right.
for more than 100 days. We need to do some more checking before we can even accept any applications for data centers. The problem, though, and the reason we're talking about the water here is we're hearing reports from people that say there are data centers near them, and then now their water, they feel like it's changing. The color, the
Yeah.
smell, the taste.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think about this?
Well, Julian brought this up, and you can talk about the video, but
Mm-hmm.
the whole part about water is that it takes so much water and electricity to run these, right? Because they have all these
Mm-hmm.
servers and they have to cool them. And so that's a big pushback from people in their community, wondering whether or not this is going to change. And AOC brought in an example of what some people are saying, like their water looks like, right?
Looks like Dookie. Like talk.
It's really brown. So
Color.
when
It
you
was
show,
that
when you
brown
show
water.
this to us
Yeah.
on set, it was this big old jar, like this. Where's my other hand? There we go. This big, and it it was brown. It was not water that you wouldn't want to touch it, let alone drink it.
Oh man.
I feel like it looks similar for people who are familiar with local news to when we had some contaminants get into like the well water in Western North Carolina, and they were just pumping out brown water out of their wells, and they had a problem with that. And
It's like some of the sediment leaked in somehow, you know, some of the
and so this is going on where AOC brought this from was from Morgan County, Georgia. And it's a huge data center that's done by Meta. And they say it's made the water undrinkable. They have to get bottled water in to use to shower, to flush the toilets.
Yikes.
Some families are even having water shipped to their homes for it. The data center officially uses 10% of the county's total water use for just that one data center. And the rates there, this is according to our parent company, News Nation, they're saying it's going to use water rates in the county are set to increase by 33% because of this data center.
Wow.
So your water rates are going to go up, water usage, and they're even showing like their showers, the water pressure is all the way down. It's hard not to be concerned, right, guys?
Mhm.
Like we know data centers are part of
Yeah.
they're not going anywhere, but it's hard not to be
They're
concerned.
necessary, right? And because everyone loves Grok and Claude and Chat. And so when you have the disconnect, I think people don't think about it until it's coming to their area.
Right.
But we need solutions, right? Because AI is not going anywhere. We let that thing out of the bag a long time ago. You can't put it back in the
Sure.
bottle. But where location wise, and different methods to cool down those servers.
Mhm.
What
if
could
I was an
be
engineer,
developed,
that's what I would be putting all my time and
right?
resources
You patent that.
is
you're
how
good
to
for
cool a
life.
data center without just using, fertile farmland, which could be used to grow, the things we need to live.
Mhm.
Where do you put it? What is an ideal foundation? And then secondly, how do you cool it without using the nearby area's water supply? To me, this is a similar situation with what we're struggling with in Charlotte, which is we are growing at a rapid pace. The whole toll lane project. Okay, so the state just took the funds away from Charlotte because we really couldn't come together with what the ideal situation is. We all know that we need to fix whatever that looks like, but we don't know what the exact solution is. It's the same with data centers. It's like we know we need them. We don't quite understand what all they do, but we know it appears that they're necessary to keep up with the amount of AI,
They are,
technology. So we got to have them. No one seems to want them near them. But if we can figure out a situation, my brother-in-law's family came up. They're in the North Georgia area. And that whole part of Georgia that you're talking about, Julian, they're frustrated because they're like, why can't, if I had a map of the U.S., I would need to talk to like an agriculture expert or some type of civil engineer that could say, these would be let's draw some circles. These are the ideal areas where you could put these without it interfering too much with the nearby land. But then do you have to have a data center within so many miles of a population like Atlanta?
Right.
It's got to go somewhere.
Right. I think that, and I think you make a really good comparison with the I-77 expansion project because the reason why this ultimately didn't get passed is because everybody got together and said, you know what, we're going to vote. This isn't the right project. It isn't the right way to do it. I think the data centers are necessary. They're going to have to go somewhere, right? But the question is, how do we cool them? Because that's to probably need the water to cool all these processors. And that's what uses so much dang water. But if there's a better way, and I've seen some stuff online, there are different ways to cool it. The problem is then you go to government regulation and people don't want everything's overly regulated because that slows down the process of building things. The more regulation you have, there has to be a solution. There has to be a better way. We'll see.
Yeah, but a
Not
lot of
going
people are
anywhere,
talking
right?
about
Maybe
it.
you could pump well water that doesn't take from the rest of the area. And then if you could recycle that into like a hydroelectric type of energy, but you keep it contained where it doesn't go back into the city. I don't know.
Dante Anderson, Mayor Pro Tem, says using non-potable water, something that Charlotte Water has talked about. So the water wouldn't be used anyway. It's recycled water. Maybe use that type of water. We'd love to talk about it. Guess what?
We're out of time.
We're out of time, so we're going to cool down. We'll catch you guys next time for Morning Edition. As always, you can watch us on our app and also on YouTube, and you can watch us Monday through Friday, 4 to 10 a.m. We'll see you.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.